Welcome everybody to the Ranton podcast number 4. Everybody's been waiting so long. Everybody's like, oh, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast?
Anton, I hate your reviews. Give me more podcasts.
Give me the podcast. So now we are officially back in the hood. I'm going to China in the day after tomorrow. So I'm going to create one more podcast after this. So you guys have some Ranton entertainment while I'm gone. And I want to say something right up front. Because believe it or not, even the podcasts are edited. And every time I rewatch myself, when I hear the word like, I get brain aneurysm. So I'm going to try to speak more slowly, more clearly, and not use... And I was like, and she was like, and I was like, and she was like.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I noticed that with
I'm
myself.
going to talk not like a sophisticated person. I'm going to talk in a sophisticated manner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I don't want to sound like a retard.
Yeah.
Okay. We start, as always, with the Patreon questions. So let's get into this, motherfucker. Hey, Ranton, great podcast once again. Well, thanks. Your brother is a pretty funny guy. Oh, shish.
Are you single?
Faggot. So, number 1, your channel had a period where you had a relatively small viewer base before recently launching to over 13K. Well, I'm at over 20K now, you son of a gun. You persisted in making great quality videos despite having a smaller base. Is he sucking my dick or asking a question? Did you ever question what you were doing? Did you ever think about quitting? This actually is the perfect introduction into a pretty big issue what I wanted to talk about. Did I use the word like yet? No, I didn't.
Yes, once.
But not when I'm quoting it. That doesn't count.
Okay.
Not when I'm quoting that I don't
Answer the
want to
question.
2 weeks ago, I was actually, two and a half weeks ago, I was very close to calling it quits. Believe it or not. Because I don't want to sound like a whiny little bitch, but who the fuck does what I do? Who the fuck does what I do, okay? It's important to be modest, but come on, man. Nobody, and then I create a video. I work on this video 20 to 30 hours, then I put it online, and then it gets, when I'm lucky, like 10K views. And then I go to other channels, and they talk over gameplay, and then they get their 500,000. And I'm thinking, why am I doing this?
Don't be so greedy, boy.
Yeah, but I'm putting so much work into this, more than I would put into a hobby. It's obviously not just a hobby. And then I get my 10K clicks, and I'm like, sorry, I said like, okay. And then I think, yeah, fuck me, right? Why do I put in the work if this is not really being rewarded as much as other people who just sit in front of the camera and are saying Battlefront 2 microtransactions are horrible. Who fucking creates videos like me? Like, let's just tits on the table, yeah? So I was close to, I've been in a bit of a low jizz for a while, and but I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna keep creating. And guys, this is not your fault. I always say, please share the videos, please share the videos. You can't always share a video, and sometimes you've already showed people. I'm not mad at you guys for not sharing or maybe not liking, whatever. This is your choice, and I'm not a conspiracy person, but I actually found out the reason why my channel doesn't grow very much. When you go on YouTube and you type in God of War review, my review will probably come up pretty high because you're already subscribed to me and you watch my videos. This is not the untainted version of YouTube. I have a VPN, and sometimes I log into VPN, go into American servers, then I go into incognito, delete all the cookies, and go on the internet like a blank slate, a tabula rasa. And then I look for God of War review, Far Cry review. I get listed so incredibly low, like sometimes over 100. Sometimes Far Cry 3 reviews come before mine. Then I look at my metadata, I don't do anything wrong. And sometimes my videos come after people with 60 subscribers and 10 views on their videos. This is not a joke. And I'm thinking to myself,
How?
How? You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
We ain't got the answers.
Yeah, so please, to Sway. How, Sway? How, Sway? What the fuck am I supposed to do about this?
Yeah.
You can like, I got good amount of likes. I got awesome fans that I love every single one of them. And yet I get listed so damn low, and the only explanation I have is because YouTube, obviously, they can hear what I say.
Yeah.
They hear the bad words, they hear the word yeah, and then they get triggered. That really pisses me off, and I don't know what to do about it, because I'm not gonna fucking censor myself. Fuck that, man. I already appreciate everything you guys are awesome. I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and especially you guys on Patreon. That helps so freaking much. I told myself that I will put everything I have into this channel for 2018. And if by the end of it, it doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere, then...
He will put everything into it 2019.
We'll see. But the God of War review, I had so much fun. That was, again, one of my favorite reviews. Yeah, so that answers that question. Very interesting, good question. Dan Chan is his name, apparently. Second question, do you enjoy games in your spare time still, or most of your gaming time allocated to reviews? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm fucked. I barely play anymore for fun.
It's kind of like the last time we talked about video bloggers who...
Vloggers.
Are they even living for themselves anymore, or are they just living for their videos? And
maybe it's not entirely true how I just said it. It's not that I'm playing and not having fun anymore. I love it. Actually, the channel opened my mind to so many new genres that I would have never touched before. So this is awesome. Now when I start a game to review it, I'm really excited and I really listen. Before, I was a person who didn't give a fuck about story. I skipped every cutscene. I don't care. Watched a TV series on the side just for gameplay, 100%. Since I started the channel, now I listen to the story. I do all that too. So it's a mix, but I don't have time to play separately anymore. Barely. Every once in a while, I start up Skyrim or things like this. Yeah, PUBG. I don't really... So, to answer your question, I still love video games just as much, maybe even more, but I don't have time to play anymore outside of the game that I'm reviewing. That is mostly true, 90%. And lastly, what is it like being of Chinese ethnicity living in Germany? Okay. I am oppressed every day. No, it's never. I don't know.
Why do you even think this is the correct question to ask a guy with a German passport?
Yeah, how dare you? No, it's fine. Not really. I don't know. It's not like. Oh fuck! I said like. It's not that I walk through the streets thinking I'm Chinese. I also don't walk through the streets thinking I'm German. I just I'm living here. It's fine, normal, I guess. Yeah, when we grew up, we were.
We went to a school where there were many kids with different.
We grew up very international.
It was a very international school, and
which doesn't mean actually that we didn't make fun of each other, because
even more.
Especially that's also maybe why I have the sense of humor. The more internationally and multiculturally you grow up, the more you make fun of each other. That's and so I was the chink. And then I had Italians and Arab.
The Schlitzi.
The Schlitzi. We had Arabs, Polish, Americans, everybody. And everybody's welcome on this channel. So next person, I don't know, should I say the names of the patrons who are asking the question? Because I always have concerns for privacy. I don't know if you guys want me to say your names. I don't have a problem with saying them. I just don't want to invade your privacy.
No, I think it's fine.
I would just say the first name.
Yeah.
Okay. Pim says, this is kind of a short question, but have you considered opening a P.O. box for fan mail stuff? I might want to send you something really cool someday. I have an idea, but I'm not sure how I might make it. Promise, it's not a dildo. Okay, then now obviously already disappointed. I don't really know how all that P.O. box shit works. You have to understand, this channel is so DIY. I don't know anything about anything. I don't know how to do this shit. I don't know if it's possible in Germany. I don't know.
Oh, it is possible.
Yeah, P.O. box?
Yeah.
When I watch iDubbbz, the kind of shit he's being sent, I'm scared to get a freaking bomb there. Okay. Well, maybe one day.
He said it's not a dildo, not that it's not a bomb.
If you promised that it was a dildo, I'd open it right away after the podcast. So, Josh says, hey Ranton, I wanted to know if you ever consider uploading bloopers, outtakes. They look like they would be comedy gold. Thanks, Fagettini. Very good. He adapted the Ranton way of talking. P.S. I love how politically incorrect your show is. Breath of fresh air these days. Appreciate ya. What was the question? Uploading bloopers, outtakes. I don't really have... My show is, I would say, 70% scripted. 70% is scripted. A lot of it happens in post. Many jokes happen in post, and some happens while I'm filming. I think of funny stuff. There are not that many funny outtakes, to be honest. Not that many funny bloopers, because I'm not working so much with other people that much. It's mostly just me and one more person, but there's not many bloopers.
Yeah. And I personally think, that's just my personal conspiracy opinion.
What the fuck are you doing here, man?
Listen to me,
What
boy.
the fuck are you doing here?
That bloopers, the reason why people think bloopers are funny, because usually in movies or something you have like these blooper reels at the end or as bonus feature, and they are artificially made funny. Do
you think so?
Bloopers usually aren't funny. It's just like it's like a sketch comedy.
I actually love bloopers sometimes. Sometimes I watch bloopers and I...
Yeah, but if they're bonus material on a DVD, they're not actual bloopers. They're like made that way.
You think they're created? They're fake?
Yeah.
Not always.
Or
Not
made
always.
extra funny. Because usually I don't know a situation in real life where I thought, if we good thing we didn't show it or what. No.
I've seen the Office bloopers and they're pretty real, I think, and they're hilarious. So I do understand where you're coming from, but I don't have that many interesting bloopers.
And on the podcast, we usually just film everything in one take.
We film everything in one take, and if we say stupid shit, I just cut it out. It's not really a blooper. So how dare you? No, good question though. Sebastian asks, "Hey Ranton, so glad to finally give you my hard-earned money. Thanks. Anyway, question, could you name a game mechanic?" Now we can maybe both talk about this. Could you name a game mechanic that you think is interesting and maybe has brought something new to the table? For example, the portals in Portal, climbing in Assassin's Creed, or combat in ELEX.
3 edgy 5 me.
Oh man, good one. Very nice. ELEX, that piece of shit. Actually, that's funny. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had I had a couple of free days where I thought, I don't have to do a review right now. I can just play something for fun. Then I looked back to the video that I made on ELEX, where I got a lot of shit for, and I thought maybe I was being a little tough. I'm gonna install it again and just be in it for the world, not care about the gameplay. I installed it, played 1 hour, and rage quit it immediately after the first enemy. It's unplayable. I have played in my life some shitty ass games with shitty mechanics. ELEX is not playable.
Yeah.
For example, there's a game on Xbox and PlayStation 2 called Kung Fu Chaos. What a piece of garbage that game was, but I loved it. This game is not... You can't play it.
ELEX is the definition of German RPG making.
But they have made better ones.
But like it's not playable because it's so...
The Surge is German. Lords of the Fallen is German. Immediately...
Yeah. No.
Your point.
But that's not... Like the RPGs that I mean like old school, like the German classics, like Gothic. And that was awesome, but then they devolved into this bug fest. The games were just a world and
I'm gonna
bugs.
be honest with you. It's not even the bugs. It's just the fighting system. I cannot play it.
It's so not polished.
And the thing is, we've been gamers since we're 3 or 4 years old. I'm not a demanding person. I can play almost anything. I cannot play ELEX, and fuck this game forever. And they got a prize. The Piano Bytes, they got a prize. They won some award for ELEX.
By who? By who?
Some incest organization.
Probably the Echo.
That's another issue. So, great gameplay mechanics. What have we seen recently? God of War, has that had any great gameplay mechanic? Any new ones?
Like anything innovative?
That was very interesting. A couple of years ago, it started where every game had where they started to invent these hold the button to mechanic that was sort of standardized, you know? Before it was press A to open the door. Now everything is hold A.
So you need less buttons.
But that's not really a mechanic.
Maybe the permadeath thing in Hellblade, but that's not a new thing. That's not a mechanic, right?
No, it is a mechanic, but permadeath is nothing new.
Yeah, okay. Yep, but maybe the way it was implemented in Hellblade.
But it wasn't actually a permadeath.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything right now. Sorry to disappoint you right there. Can't think of anything on the spot, but you made me giggle with that ELEX comment. So then a person named Counterpoint asks, so a couple of questions. Number one, how do you choose what games you will review? Is it just which ones you think you'll enjoy? No, obviously not. I review games that I think are relevant, And if there's nothing relevant out right now, I just review an indie game that looks interesting. That's then personal preference. But I try to review everything that's relevant. I don't decide what's relevant, but I review what is relevant, no matter what it is, basically. Probably won't ever review sports games. That I won't ever do because I just don't play them.
There's really not much to review there. I think.
And
shots fired.
So yeah, I review whatever is relevant. And with indie games, just what I think looks cool. Number 2, since you complete each game before you review it, are there any games you hated just too much to finish and review? Oh, there is one game, and hopefully
ELEX. Or
no.
You finished
a couple of people are gonna get triggered now. Monster Hunter World. I'm going to talk about this because this review is, I think, one of my best. I really like the review. I think it's really funny. I increased the rating to a 4. I have never in my life hated playing a game this much. It was torture for me. Absolute torture, because I have integrity. And I told myself I will see the credits before I review it. Tell this to myself every time. And I hated it. It really hated it. I want to give it even less than a 4. And many people said that, yeah, you just didn't get the game. Yeah, it's true. But why didn't I get the game? Because the game didn't fucking explain itself well enough. Or whatever. Yeah. It's personal preference. Obviously, the majority of people say it's a masterpiece. So I'm alone there, I guess. But yeah, that was torture. Absolute torture. The worst ever. Then do you, next person, Bobzan, do you keep up with your training? Thinking anime montage. Don't want to get too deep into this, but I left Shaolin Temple back then because of an injury. That was one of the reasons. And I still, after 2 years, I'm suffering from this injury. I'm going to have an operation soon. And so I can't really train a lot right now.
You might not notice it, but Anton only has one leg.
I only have one leg. I'm an amputee. Oh, Zen asks, boy, what's your favorite meal? Oh. Great question, son of a Zen.
It's so logical that someone would ask this question after you quote review bra every video. I mean, food for half Chinese people is
let's talk about
half most important.
The best 3 cuisines of the world. I'm telling you, number 1. I hope no Chinese fan is watching this. I'm very sorry, but kitchen number 1 for me, by a very small margin. Number 1 is Japanese. Number 1 is Japanese. I'm sorry. I think it's overall slightly more diverse than Chinese. I know Chinese kitchen is insane, but Japanese is more defined. Chinese kitchen is chaos. Japanese kitchen is... Okay, Chinese kitchen is a machine gunner, a heavy machine gun. Japanese kitchen is sniper. That's why you have this flavor. Everything is so well defined. It's all in order. It's so... Oh, I love it. And then close second right away, Chinese. Chinese kitchen is just explosion of the senses. And number 3, I think Italian. And no, Italian is not just pizza and spaghetti. Damn,
somebody touch my spaghetti.
Okay, I mean, just Italian cuisine in general.
I have to disagree a little bit. I think there's nothing above Chinese cuisine. It's. I mean, you're comparing a country of 1.4 billion to a country of small island.
Japan.
Yeah.
No. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Like, from the mathematics alone, it's impossible for a country
like I said,
small.
It's very close. I just think Japanese is slightly better, the cuisine, slightly.
I mean, there are, of course, similarities between both. So one can notice we have a preference for Asian food. But
Western kitchen can keep up, let's just be honest.
But still, I think for me, it's the Vielfalt, the diversity of Chinese cuisine.
Guys, Chinese cuisine is not fucking wok, okay? It's not chop suey. Chop suey is not even Chinese. They made it up in Los Angeles, I think, back then. Chinese kitchen is, and it's also not duck.
Yeah. That's crispy duck.
Let's have some. What is it? I can't even make it up.
Crispy duck or bami goreng or something.
Whatever.
That doesn't even exist in China.
There is a Western Chinese kitchen, which is just a perversion of Chinese kitchen, and then you have real Chinese kitchen.
How do you even get from real Chinese kitchen to what's here?
I think it was the American influence. I think the Americans came up with this chop suey stuff. Whatever. Okay. I also enjoy it every once in a while, but it's not Chinese.
And then for me, second place is Europe. I mean,
Europe
if we're saying China is one kitchen, then we have to say Europe because
then we have to say Asia. No. We don't do that. That is not a problem.
because like the difference between the province of Beijing and the province of, I don't know, Tibet is so great that you can't say.
Yeah, I know, but we're going for country for country.
All right, then I would say German.
German kitchen. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Massive problem here.
I think the entire idea behind this really deftig and like dark sauce and huge chunks of meat and pommes frites.
German kitchen does
It
well.
has something.
German kitchen does very well what it has, but it has so little to offer compared to Chinese. Compared to Chinese,
yeah, but that's the argument I'm trying to make. You're comparing 1.4 billion to
Italian kitchen is very diverse.
No. Italian kitchen is also like it's just a small country.
Germans got Schnitzel, Sauerbraten, Eisbein.
What are you even saying? No, it has Saumagen in the Pfalz. The wine is the best there. Then it's Haxen in Bayern. That's the best. Then you have in the north. Infinite amount of fish.
I used to defend German kitchen a lot, but I don't know.
Get out of here.
I enjoy my good Schnitzel with Bratensoße, and I don't care what you say. A good Schnitzel has Bratensoße. I'm very sorry to my cousin who's from Munich, who's going to burst up in flames right now. And I know original Schnitzel doesn't have Bratensoße, Bratensaus in English.
Wiener Schnitzel doesn't have Bratensoße.
No, Schnitzel has Bratensoße or I won't eat it. End of story. So.
Good.
Okay, these are all the Patreon questions. Support me on Patreon, guys. It's the only way. YouTube, by the way, has not paid me a single dime so far. I actually regret a little bit making that one video where I asked my fans, like, can I please monetize? Because it made it look like now I make money. YouTube hasn't paid me $1 yet.
So you have you transformed into a sellout that doesn't actually sell out.
So please support my Patreon, guys. It's a really great help. And so these are the question of Patreon. Let's get right into the news. This is a little bit of an older issue, but I wanted to talk about this very quickly. Did you hear that the League of Legends guy from Riot apologized for the design of one of their heroes because it looked too sexual?
What?
Yes.
So are they still releasing new heroes? Or
yeah, there still are, but one hero apparently looked too sexual, and then they apologize.
Every hero looks sexual.
It's ridiculous.
I think that's one of the awesome things about LoL, that it's so anime. The game looks like
it's
anime.
Fucking bullshit. Yeah? It's bullshit. Yeah. By the way, this whole fucking debate. I have to be very careful in the wording here. Yeah. But girls, or not girls, some girls, it's not girls, some retards. Yeah, they see a female in a game with massive titties here, yeah, and like a thigh, or what is it called?
Booty.
Just sexy, yeah? And then they say, that's sexist. No, it's not sexist.
It's like saying muscles are sexist.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Fuck, I should not say like. Okay. Exactly. Good point. Yeah. Do you ever see men or women complain about strong male characters with muscles and looking super fit? Is that sexist?
Is Kratos sexist? Is God of War
sexist?
No.
Beauty ideals exist, and it's absolutely fine to depict them.
Even in an exaggerated manner.
Have you seen Street Fighter, man? Have you seen them? They got tits as big as my scrotum. It's giant. Yeah. Okay? It's nothing sexist about it. I mean, women tend to be a little more sensitive with this anyways. If a woman in a game is fat, it's sexist. If she looks ordinary, it's sexist because women are women not special. Yeah. If she's super sexy, then it's sexist. Can artists please just be free in their vision? Okay? Fuck's sake. Yeah. This gets me triggered. Yeah? I don't know if I've ever seen anything sexist. When I see something in a movie or a game that's obviously sexist, I always see it in a
ironic manner, right?
Or they're making fun of people who would think like this. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Not to go on a tangent too much here, but I think this whole discussion there is a little bit of a symptom of people not understanding the internet, because surely he apologized because on some forum or on Reddit or what, someone made a thread and said it's sexist. Yeah, and people tend to react more on stuff that's said on the internet, while I actually think that you should react less on stuff that is said on the internet, because it's the fucking internet.
I actually think that this outrage culture, what's growing, I don't think that it's an outrage culture. I just think that now everybody has access.
Yeah.
Twitter allows everybody to have an opinion or to get their opinion out into the world. And I think actually that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It allows you to speak your mind. And so if a lot of people think something sucks, then they're all going to say it. And then it's going to look like outrage culture. I'm kind of torn on this. I'm torn on this. I wish people wouldn't get so outraged like this in their hearts. But that they can express themselves is a good thing. You know? And yeah, I don't know.
It is still pretty new. I mean, when we were kids, that didn't exist. So maybe it just needs a little time to... Humanity needs a little time to adapt.
I think it's going to just get worse. Because
It's
more
gonna
and
get
more
worse.
and more people are going to have access to it. The amount... I think the YouTube CEO or whoever said that they're expecting in the next upcoming years 3... In German, it's Milliarden. In English, it's billion people more on YouTube. It's just going to be more. On Twitter, it's going to be more. It's going to explode.
Okay. Yeah, no, but what I mean is that people are not yet used to that many different, that many opinions that are different from theirs. Maybe. You know, maybe in 15 years or something. I mean, that's sounding kind of utopian, but still, it's maybe everyone is kind of used to that. Actually, there are so many more different opinions than mine, and maybe there's no need to discuss with everyone. I don't know.
I don't know. Difficult issue.
I can't see the future.
I just wish overall that people in their hearts wouldn't get so triggered. Yeah. Just when you see something you don't like, it's okay.
Although we were getting kind of triggered by
exactly.
It's horrible.
It's a weird issue. It's a weird issue. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, whatever.
So was that a new hero that they released or anything?
That's already like I think a month or two.
Okay.
I don't know what they did. If they just scrapped the hero, I don't think they did. I think they changed the outfit a little bit.
Okay.
Even
she's no longer naked.
I'm telling you, even if there was a female hero who was 99% tits, it wouldn't be sexist. Then that's the creation. It's also not sexist if a guy was 99% dick. That's not sexist. That's just
or biceps.
Yeah, biceps. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
What's sexist about it? Don't see it. I don't.
I don't even think a human body can be sexist. That's
whatever.
Weird.
Yeah. There's an issue I wanted to talk about today concerning streaming. Today I want to talk about streaming because now I officially feel old. I feel like the new generation who does not understand what the kids are into these days. I just watched the H3 podcast with Ninja. I've never seen that guy.
Fortnite streamer?
I guess I've never seen that guy before. I don't know who the fuck that guy is. I don't understand streams. I don't know how to set them up. I don't know why people watch them. What is the fascination behind it? I don't get it. I wish I would get it. And then you have these real life streamers.
That's the weirdest.
They just film themselves. Who watches that? Who watches it? Do you guys watch that shit?
I really need one person to explain to me why they are watching vloggers or real life streams or anything.
What do you mean? You mean streams? Streams.
Yeah.
The streaming world.
But for me, vlogs and streaming are kind of.
I mean, YouTube vlogs. I think occasionally can be interesting if people travel places.
Really.
Well,
okay.
If the person is interesting or the place is interesting, I don't mind watching vlogs.
Okay, yeah, but real life streams are. I don't get it.
I don't even understand the website Twitch. I go on Twitch. It's like with Reddit. I wish I would understand this. Like I told you in the beginning, I'm such a backwards in terms of technology. I go on Reddit. And I think, today I'm going to get into this. I'm going to work myself into Reddit, and I'm going to get it. And then I'm going to be a superstar on Reddit. Then I go on the website, I see 1,000 things to click on, and then Alt F4. I don't get it. I don't understand Reddit. And then I go on Twitch, 1 billion things on the screen, and I don't know where to click on. I wish I had somebody next to me who would give me an introduction. Like, this is this.
But that still wouldn't answer the question, what's the fascination about watching streams?
Yeah.
I think there's one thing. I can attest to personally, is that I kind of enjoy watching people play a game really well. You know? Mm-hmm. Streamers usually, they need to have something that sets them apart. And usually that's going all in their game. Like finding every, min-maxing the game.
I heard is really good.
Yeah, he's extremely good in Fortnite. And that's like many Path of Exile streamers. Also, they're trying to min-max everything about the game. Like getting like cutting every little corner that they can, and maybe that's a little bit of the fascination.
I still don't get how it warrants this amount of viewers. Yeah. For example, when I heard about this ninja guy, what a massive superstar he is.
Yeah.
He uploads his stream highlights on YouTube, like one a day. Then I thought, every one of them has millions of views. And I thought, there has to be some sort of entertainment value.
It's pretty incredible.
But I go on it. What's special about it? I don't get it. Is it really just because he's good? That's why people watch. Millions of people watch because he's good. I'm sure there are some of you who watch it. That's why I don't mean to insult you. Seriously, please tell me. I don't understand it.
No idea.
The fascination can just be because he's good, right? If you watch it, why don't you just play then to get better?
Exactly. That's what I ask myself about. Why? I mean, okay, maybe you want to watch them how they are super good, and then you play and try to
maybe see. I actually did that also for a while. I watched this YouTuber called Blame Truth. Don't know if he does stuff.
Wasn't he the Call of Duty guy?
Was a Call of Duty guy. When I was really into Call of Duty, I watched some of his, and that helped me. But yeah, so I'm trying to understand it, but it's difficult. Stretching my brain to the limit. Yeah. You also don't really get
fill the comment section with reasons why you watch streams.
If you watch streams, then perfect. Tell me why. Seriously,
tell us.
I would love to get this. Do you sit there and like do you come home from school or from work and you just go on the streaming site and then you sit there and you watch, or do you like put it on and you do something else?
Maybe that's also one of the. Because that's what I do occasionally with Dota.
With the tournaments.
Yeah, with Dota tournaments, because there's always a Dota tournament.
For me, it's like a mystery. I don't know how to consume this content. Mystery to me. I wish I would get it. I wish it would interest me. It just doesn't.
Actually, that's actually a good point. We played League of Legends for quite a while.
You, I think, more than me.
Yeah, and you remember that sometimes League games can get pretty stressful and toxic. Yeah,
that's my favorite part, actually.
Yeah,
I'm the most toxic League of Legends player ever.
There's a certain thing about, like, when I watch a Dota tournament, it's kind of it gets a little bit of the Dota feeling across without exposing yourself to the
stress.
To the stress and all the Nervenkitzel, the excitement. You just watch a little bit of Dota. It's just funny or angenehm.
It's just
nice to hear someone talk about your favorite game.
But sometimes they don't talk. Every time I click on the stream, I just see them sitting there playing. Like, why? Stop it! Go outside! No, just kidding. Which doesn't mean, I think in the future I'm gonna do streams, but maybe like Q&A streams for an hour once a month, or I want to get this podcast up live, which is also a sort of stream then. But there you
play FIFA with your friends.
Oh my God, kill me. If I reach $1 million on Patreon, I will start to play FIFA.
He won't. He'd rather.
I will take the cash and run.
He'd rather quit at 999,000 than play FIFA.
I'll shut down my Patreon at 9,900,999. Yeah. Oh, goddamn. Yeah.
Or play Fortnite with your
that is that about streams. Let's see what's on the news. Oh, no. I wanted to talk about, let's get a little bit away from gaming. Music. Wanted to talk about music last time. Tell me, make an introduction.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the introduction really powerful. Yeah.
Oh, gay.
Music is the best thing humanity has ever created. Music is, for me personally, it's the best thing that exists. And back in school, there was a philosophy class, and there was a German philosopher. Is he German?
Who?
The Lebensleiden. Okay, Schopenhauer.
Schopenhauer was German.
It's German, yeah. Okay. So, and his philosophy was that life is shit, and one of the few things that can save you or make life bearable is music. Uh-huh. And I've never agreed with a philosopher more than him.
But you know that the guy was a depressed piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, philosophers were all kind of fucked up, but you pick and choose what you like about them. Yeah. And then I think that particular statement of him was amazing. And then that's also the time, like, it's probably the same thing with most of you guys. In puberty, you kind of start to find the music that that
really shapes
fits with you. Yeah? And for me, there was no band that shaped me like Tool.
Tool?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
Oh boy.
What is Tool?
Tool they're kind of like a metal band, but their songs are usually pretty long and really slow and kind of technical. That their drummer is like a mathematician or what the fuck.
Okay.
And I don't want to sound too esoteric, but their songs are usually about the spiritual journey you make when you do LSD.
Okay.
It's
like
a little
Enter the Void soundtrack.
It's a little fucked up.
Okay.
But I think their music is so good. It just hits a nerve, you know? And
because I wanted to talk about this because it's not necessarily unrelated to the channel. Maybe you noticed that in almost all of my reviews, at some point I make some sort of musical reference, or I just use the lyrics of a song and change them, or and I don't do this because I need to add this to my review in the checklist. No, when I write my reviews, it's such a crazy process. It takes so long, it takes inspiration, that I always listen to music to get myself into the mood. And there's always another song that sticks with me.
Always another Booba song.
Yeah. So while I'm writing, I listen to music, and then I really love that thing what he said, and I think I'm gonna put that into the review. It sounds so cool. I will just say it. And that's how how the reviews end up having these musical references. And what I would love is that you guys put in the comment section not a band. I don't want to hear any artist's name, because then I have to look up the artist, find his best songs. No, don't do that. Just write one or maximum two songs that are so pure goosebumpness for you, that when you listen to them, you really feel it.
And I mean, to get back to the point, I think it's nothing besides music can do that. I think music is so awesome and so amazing that it's like it's the one of the few things that really makes you feel like the human being is superior to everything else.
Yeah,
I just love it.
Yeah, and for me it changes a lot. I listen to I would say I listen to everything. Doesn't mean I like everything, but I listen to every genre. I would say 70% is rap. But I listen to everything, so don't be embarrassed if you like certain things. I listen to Booba, I listen to Bushido, I listen to Flair. I'm not ashamed of it. So fucking what? It's just music. Like, chill the fuck out.
The thing is, I don't think there's any music that you can be ashamed of liking. It's just that the only thing that I think you shouldn't do is think your music is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no note is better than another note. But
I enjoy. For me, if it sounds good, it's good.
Yeah.
Past few days, I've been so stuck on this one. There are certain albums. It happens really rarely for me. That's why I'm usually not a fan of an artist. I'm a fan of certain songs. But 3 Days Grace is a rock punk band, whatever, and they have this one album. The only album actually that I know, and it's called 1X. And this album is just. You cannot skip any song. It's 12 songs. They're each perfect. And oh my God, it's just stuck in my head. And I'm going to put in the comment section maybe 2 or 3 songs that I've been listening to nonstop that really make me feel like so in the zone. So please do that too. Maybe 1 or 2 songs. But don't write the name of an artist. I don't want to have to look shit up. Okay?
Schluck that shit up.
Schluck that shit up.
But actually, I just now realized that this feeling of you listen to something and it's just from the first note you know it's love. Yeah? That actually happens pretty rarely. When I think back, I only know that of Tool that did that to me, and I'm a little ashamed to say it, but there's an album from My Chemical Romance, who have since disbanded, that's called The Black Parade. It was like the time when emo was at its height. And I kind of love that shit.
Or System of a Down. They have at least 3 albums where you cannot skip a single song. Mesmerize, Hypnotize, and I think the albums... No, and Toxicity.
No, that's not an album.
These 3 albums, there's... perfect. 100 points out of 100. And then if any of you listen to German rap, then Flair, Keiner kommt klar mit mir, weil die Straße nicht vergisst, Vibe, these albums from Bushido... From Bordstein bis zur Skyline.
Oh, Carlo Cooks, that one is...
When I was 8 years old, I started to listen to German gangster rap, and since then, I can't let it go. Kick down! Nah, egal. So yeah, whatever the music you listen to, let us know in the comments. And now, I wanted to address... this is a bit about the subject that we talked about before. how much work goes into a YouTube video. Now, how much work goes into a video. I don't want to do this just to highlight, I work so much in the video. By the way, I do. But to clarify some misconceptions. Very interesting. Angry Joe just released his God of War review. And now...
Did he get a copy in advance?
No.
No,
he doesn't. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm starting to get triggered by everything. Because... how do I say this? I don't want to diss him. I don't want to diss him, but... So... His reviews are about 30 to 40 minutes. Let's say 25 to 35 minutes. That's the average length of his reviews. Sounds a long time. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to debunk his reviews and explain to you why they take the amount of work that they do and explain to you exactly how much work do they take. So, when you watch Angry Joe's videos, reviews, he always talks about an issue and then he shows footage of it with his live reaction because he's streaming these games. When you cut out all the reactions and only use the part that where he's filming himself, it's really, really short. I did the maths, the quick maths on that a couple of times. It's I think 1/3 only. So he talks for like 9 minutes only, or even less. He's on camera actually talking about the game. The rest is reactions from him live. Mm-hmm. So he said somewhere, I saw it somewhere that he said that he records his entire walkthrough of the game. I don't do that. I do selective recording. He records everything.
If he streams while playing through the game,
he records
probably
everything.
Gonna record the stream. Yeah.
What is a lot of work? Now, I don't know his workflow. He might have maybe he's optimized it to a degree where he saves time, or he hasn't. But it might cost him a lot of time to pick out the scenes. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he works. I never watched his streams before. I don't know if he notes on the paper, okay, there was a funny moment that I probably want to use in my
35 minutes or something.
Yeah, this happened at this and this time. I can find it. Yeah. If he doesn't do that, then it is a shit ton of work to pick out these parts. That is where he will lose a lot of time. And then also he does costumes in the beginning, which costumes isn't work, but you'll just lose time waiting for the costumes. He said that several times.
Are those bought costumes or made costumes? Because making costumes,
I think they're bought. He orders the costumes somewhere. I don't know, but in fact is he gets them delivered, and several times he had to postpone them just because he didn't have the costumes. Mm-hmm. So that's where you lose time. Mm-hmm. But Angry Joe reviews are not that much work. They're not. He streams, which then there he makes money. Yeah, he makes money via streams. That's good. And then he uses parts, and then he films himself for 9 minutes in front of a green screen. And then so this is not a diss, okay? But that's Angry Joe review. And then you have, for example, ACG, and that triggers me so much. I wish in my heart that I could create videos like this. Not because I can't, but I wish my bar was this low. Yeah. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. It's not. I wish that it's a different target audience. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's not that it's bad. So that was stupid for me to say. But the fact is that his videos are so easy and fast to create. Sometimes there are so many indie games that I play, and I'm thinking I would love to do a little video on this and just review it quickly, but I can't because my reviews are such a freaking commitment. From the first second I have my I have a piece of paper. While I play, I write down jokes, blah blah. It takes forever, and then all the edits. And sometimes I wish I could just record gameplay, don't make jokes, just describe the game, what I like about it, and that's it. And then I think, no, this is not my quality standard. Then I look at ACG, he reviews, boom, one review after the other. And I'm like, I could do this too, but this is not.
But you can't.
But I can.
Yeah.
Damn you, ACG. Damn you.
I hereby swear that I will, if I invent cloning technology, I will make a few Antons that can. I will make a few Rantons that create reviews for you.
The problem is that I have to create the content that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
That's the Anspruch.
I cannot create content that I wouldn't enjoy watching myself. That's my issue. And I wanted to talk about my Far Cry 5 review very quickly because the Far Cry 5 review is an interesting one. Maybe go back and watch it again. Maybe you will notice that my reviews are divided into two different parts mainly. The parts where I talk over gameplay and the parts where you see me sitting in front of the computer. And the Far Cry 5 review was really well written in terms of jokes, in terms of everything actually. It was amazing. And then I was in a good mood. I recorded the voiceover, that goes over gameplay. Perfect. And on the next day, I would record myself. I had a fantastic script, but on that day, I was in such a depressive mood. That was the high point of my, let's just shut this channel down.
That's the high point of your low. So
No,
it's
my
a low point.
low point of the high. My lowest high point, or my highest low point. I was so depressed and thinking, fuck all this. I thought nothing was funny anymore. My script was, I look back to it, it was amazing. And go back to that review. You will see every time you see me, there are barely any jokes. Not because I didn't record them. I cut them all out. I wasn't happy with them. I thought it was all crap. So that's why this review is like amazing and crap. So every time you see me in that review, just know that I'm in a shittiest mood ever. And the voice recording was from the day before when I was in a fantastic mood. And I thought, this review is going to be amazing.
Hormones, dude.
Yeah. And like, I'm freaking bipolar or something.
Yeah. Probably should stop taking the anti-baby pille.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still overall very happy with the review, but just sucked that the content has to be produced, you know? That's the thing. How long have we been doing this now? Sophia, do you know how long? No? do you know how long?
She's not helping. I think we're about 45 minutes now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Fuck, I wanted to discuss God of War and Infinity Wars. Okay, we're gonna maybe talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's keep it for tomorrow.
You want to talk science?
Yeah, it's not that sciencey today, but it's still, like, you know, the last 15 minutes are reserved for me. Yeah. So the topic today is a little less science and a little more fiction. So
Science fiction.
Yeah. Oh. And the thing I want to talk about is, I'm sure most of you know H.P. Lovecraft. He's an American author who has lived in the beginning of the 20th century and wrote fictional horror stories. Like he released them in these old pulp magazines, short stories of monsters. Yeah. And I don't know much about how he was perceived in his time, but his works today have since created a whole cosmos of the monsters and deities that he created back then. I mean,
mythology and lore.
Everyone knows Cthulhu. There's the whole Cthulhu mythos. Then he has created many other gods that all... and he has created a new genre that's commonly associated with his works, and that's cosmic horror. And cosmic horror, it has many layers. Like the first layer is the tentacle monsters just look creepy. Okay, fine, yeah, but anyone can do that. The second layer is that in cosmic horror, one of the things that's really horror about it is how small these entities makes you feel as a human. How small humanity is compared to these gods.
Like Attack on Titan horror.
Not small in terms of size, but in terms of cosmic relevance. Yeah, in cosmic horror, the horror thing about it is the protagonist realizing that actually humanity is so insignificant on its little speck of dust in the universe.
But that's not horror.
But the realization that you're actually nothing is the horror about cosmic horror. So, I mean, his one of his most popular stories is The Call of Cthulhu, where a investigator investigates different weird sightings around the world, and he realizes that they're actually trying to awaken an old god that has come to the earth before humanity was even there and is sleeping on the ground of the Atlantic Ocean. And he then has like these visions and sees all of the gods that are in the universe, and like for them humanity is nothing. They could wipe out humanity with just by accident. And this knowledge of powerlessness and insignificance, that's like the layer of cosmic horror that I think makes it really
like Dr. Manhattan kind of realize,
just the realization that you are actually nothing. Okay. That is cosmic horror's essence. That you're powerless, meaningless, and insignificant. That is usually the essence of all of H.P. Lovecraft's works. and then the characters usually go mad.
Yeah.
And okay, so that's the fiction part. Now, what has that to do with science? The thing I was asking myself is these cosmic gods that H.P. Lovecraft invented. What's so horrible about them? One, they're tentacles. They have tentacles, but also that the way they're described is H.P. Lovecraft puts a lot of emphasis on never describing the god like in detail. He says that the beings are so indescribable that he cannot describe it in words.
Because they're indescribable.
They're indescribable, exactly. Yeah. So they're incomprehensible for a human. Like when a human has the visions of knowledge of the old gods, his brain cannot process it, and then he goes mad.
So like people who watch my channel.
Cosmic God Anton. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, isn't there something in our real universe that fits this description of something so big, so powerful and incomprehensible that it can usually not be worked with?
Fortnite.
Get out of here. No. The thing that in my mind fit this description are these gigantic numbers that describe our universe. Like, I don't know how much you have come in contact with astronomy, but usually when you hear or like at a university level, astronomy usually consists of very, very big numbers. Yeah. Huge amounts of zeros. 10 to the power of 10, 15, 20. Yeah. So does that even say something to you? 10 to the power of 15?
You just have to look smart.
10 to the power of 15 is 10 with 15 zeros after it.
Also hoch, oder? Auf Deutsch.
Yeah, genau. 10 hoch 15.
Genau.
Yeah, is 10 with 15 zeros. Yeah. It's a very big number.
Yeah.
And usually when you talk about the universe, it's always like there aren't any small numbers in the universe. Mm-hmm. And I think most people, myself included, and I'm a physicist, these numbers are too big for a human mind to actually grasp what they mean.
I get what you mean. So they're too large to even comprehend, to envision. Yeah. But do they strike fear into your heart?
Well, if you then compare the numbers for our Earth or anything here, this comparison is actually what I think invoked in me a little bit of this feeling of,
what the fuck?
Well, actually, what does this even matter in the
big scale
scope of billions, 13 billions of light years?
But I think that's maybe something what the average person wouldn't be afraid of.
Yeah? No?
No, I don't think so. Because I think you have to be a physicist to say, look at this number.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. I see that it's kind of fucking nerdy.
The scariest horror movie ever. It's like just like a giant number on the screen.
Because when I'm not an astronomer. That's not my topic in physics. But when I look at these numbers and compare them to what we are dealing with here, it just feels like nothing.
But I think what you mean can be just expressed in a different way, which is more, I think, accessible to the average person. Is just in general when you think about the universe. I mean, in general, we are such a tiny piece of shit floating around, so goddamn insignificant. That is scary. That is the universe is scary.
Yeah, but you're talking about size, and size has a number.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think about the number. I don't have a number in my mind.
Okay.
Didn't we discuss this once on the podcast? If you're in a space station and you look on Earth, you start to detach.
If Earth becomes smaller and smaller,
you start to emotionally detach yourself.
I think that they're all kind of connected. That the human brain is made for life on Earth.
Maybe
it's evolutionary made for life here, and
maybe we cannot. This is a bit like believing in God.
That's kind of a belief thing.
It's not a scientific.
No, that's absolutely not scientific.
Maybe we have time to talk about this very quickly about something what maybe will help some of you out there about scientific theory, falsificationismus.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's address this very quickly because I don't want the show to be political in any sense, but people don't understand. Many people out there think science is truth. Like, no, it's science, man. It's the truth. Yeah. Then these people don't understand what science is. Science's job is to figure out what is true. That's the case. This is science's job. But the methodology, can you say it like this, of science a scientific Aussage, statement,
yeah.
a scientific statement has to be, by definition, falsifiable. For many of you, maybe this is, I know this, but I feel like sometimes people don't know this.
Yeah.
They're talking about, it's science, man, that means it's true. No. Science is based on experiments that go after there's the inductive und deduktive Methode, and it means that a lot of times, even the way that experiments are conducted or the way they are constructed is often with a result already in mind. This is a human error that always plays a role as well. So this is the deductive problem. So maybe some of you care about the philosopher Popper. This is a guy who in German it's called Wissenschaftstheorie. I don't know what's it called in English. Scientific theory. It's the philosophy behind science, which is very important.
Or the philosophy behind knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. Or Erkenntnistheorie is epistemology, I think, in English. So science is not just what's true. Science has been disproven a lot of times, what was thought to be true. And that doesn't make it less scientific. That is the job of science.
That's what science, it's a definite, that it
and
can
I have a scientist right here.
Disproven.
A scientific statement has to be able to be disproven. Is that correct, the way I formulated it?
That's exactly the way my prof in one of my first lectures in the first year of university taught.
Let's take the example of climate change, okay? We're not here to discuss it's true or false, whatever. It's based on experiments that are conducted, and let's just assume right now, or let's just say, okay, these experiments are all einstimmig, they're all conclusive, or conclusive, is that the right word? They all come to the same result of humans have an effect on climate change, period. So that's the result. That still doesn't mean that it's true, because the way these experiments are conducted means it has to be possible to falsify these results. My English comes to its limits right now. You know what I mean? For example, in a couple of years, it has to be possible to say, well, what we thought back then, actually we just figured out, no, that wasn't the case. That doesn't mean that it wasn't scientific before, or that it was a lie. You know what I mean? Science has to be falsifiable. And very important.
And one other thing that's also very important is it has to be reproducible.
Yes, that's also.
It kind of goes hand in hand with being falsifiable. If you can't reproduce it, then you can never falsify it.
Exactly.
So it has to be reproducible and maybe falsifiable.
That's why, in a certain kind of funny way, if you want to get a little bit more into philosophy, opinion has a higher truth value than science in a way, when you think about it, because your opinion is not falsifiable. If you like the color blue, that is not a scientific fact. That's not falsifiable. That is your opinion. End of story. Or there's a God or something like this. It's not falsifiable. Therefore, not a scientific statement. Therefore, it's 100% true and 100% false. It's not in the realm of that. You know. Make sense?
True and false are not qualities that apply to opinions.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe this is just something to put out there, maybe to make you think or to make you hate me, whatever. Now that we're talking about it, let's just talk about our favorite philosophers. Maybe nobody cares out there right now, but if you're into that, because we both had philosophy in school.
When we talked about philosophy just a few days ago, we realized that Germany is actually the philosophical superpower of the world.
No. France has amazing philosophers. Russia has some. Britain has. Okay, let's preface this so no one gets triggered. If I mention a philosopher, it doesn't mean that I agree with everything he said or that I like him as a person. I don't know them. Many philosophers were anti-Semites, actually. So it doesn't mean that I even agree with what they have said. It just means it's an interesting construct that they present, or some ideas are interesting. So my favorite philosophers are, I feel like, what I really enjoyed reading is Schopenhauer,
exactly,
a German philosopher. Schopenhauer, you can look him up. Very interesting. He even looked kind of cool. Really angry guy. And a Danish philosopher called Kierkegaard, who was all into religion and that kind of stuff. That was interesting. And I was never a big fan of Nietzsche. Nietzsche was so hyped. And then when we started talking about him, it was all kind of simple. And then I was a bit disappointed. Wasn't that interesting.
For me, Nietzsche is number one.
Yeah. And then also Immanuel. Now get ready. This is the way how to say his name. And I'm not going to say how. In American or British colleges, they say Immanuel Kant. It's not Kant. It's Kant. Yeah, I'm very sorry. Yeah. But this has to be said. It's not Immanuel Kant. It's Immanuel Kant.
It's not Immanuel Kant,
And
it's
if
Immanuel Kant.
And if any of you have philosophy class, you tell your teacher, bro, Immanuel Kant. And he had a nickname, and that was Immanuel Wet Kant. Yeah?
We called him that in school.
Yeah, we always called him Immanuel Wet Kant. No, it's Immanuel Kant, not Immanuel Kant. What the fuck is that? Just
We were very, very mature back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your professor doesn't dare to speak his name, then he shouldn't teach about him. It's Immanuel Kant. Bums, aus, Ende. Okay? But Immanuel Kant is so hard to read. I don't really enjoy reading it, but I just respect the guy. And I really enjoy, what's his name? Anyways, these are my three favorites. Are you?
For me, Kant is obviously one of the
Wet Kant?
most interesting because he, the way he writes is unreadable. It's impossible because Oh no! We were rudely interrupted by technology again. Immanuel Kant is very impossible to read, but because he writes like a mathematician. His sentences are made like mathematical definitions, and so it's of course it's horrible. But if you decode it, I think the ideas conveyed by it are really interesting and thought-provoking. So for me, it's Nietzsche and Kant, and then actually, Schopenhauer, because
you also like Schopenhauer.
Yeah, I talked about him earlier, and I just think his philosophy is also like the how consistently he thought this train of living is lighten is suffering. Living is suffering. How consistently he thought it through to the end. I think that was pretty cool.
But I also really enjoyed some French philosophers like Voltaire and Rousseau, the French, like around the French Revolution.
Yeah, those were mainly focused on political and what's the role of the individual in society. Also interesting.
Yeah. So let's cut it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Again, I have no other way of getting money but Patreon. Please consider going there. As little as $1. As I need $1 is what I need. Hey.
So, as a small trailer for next time we have, you can be excited for Infinity Wars.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that.
We just watched it. God of War, of course.
We're going to talk spoilers though. We're going to talk spoilers.
Watch the review if you want no spoilers. We're going to dissect
that bitch.
And then one more thing that we want to talk about a little bit, because we're not experts, but since when has that stopped us? Our Battle Royale games and the recent hype. And
Fortnite and stuff like that.
Fortnite, PUBG.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really do hope so. I love all of you guys. And unlike other content creators, when I say please comment, I read the comments and I answer to you guys, and you know that, so fuck all the others.
So, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Tschüssle.